Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Wednesday, December 10th, 2014, around 7:01 in the morning in DeLocket, Massachusetts. It's still going to be a cloudy day with some rain showers, maybe some snow flurries, and it's going to be highs in the 40s. We didn't get any black ice in this area last night because the temperature was above 32 degrees, and the puddles are still there, so be careful. Some news to report. It's official. John Lester has signed a 6-year contract worth $155 million with the Chicago Cubs. It was between the Cubs and the Red Sox, and it was I thought the Red Sox would get back Lester, but he went to the Cubs instead. Now the Red Sox have to focus on getting a pitcher. Cole Hamels or Johnny Cueto or Max Scherzer could be Boston bound. We'll wait and see. And the Cubs are going to be legitimate contenders in the NL Central this year. And that's about it on that. And my next subject is my continuation series of everything and anything. I have reached the top 10 greatest, best pro wrestling steel cage matches of all time. Steel cage matches in professional wrestling is to blow off a big feud in the world of professional wrestling, and they had some legendary cage matches over the years in all wrestling territories, and here's his top 10 of them of all time. Number 10 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches of all time: Hulk Hogan facing King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2. Hogan was defending the WWE Championship against King Kong Bundy, and this match was pretty amazing. Bundy splashed Hogan at a previous Saturday night's main event, injuring Hogan's ribs, and a lot of people were saying that King Kong Bundy was going to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 2, but Hogan beat Bundy because they were pushing Bundy as a monster heel, and after the match, Bundy's manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, took some bumps from Hulk Hogan. Hogan just threw him into the cage and stuff like that. And it was a great cage match. That's number 10 on the all-time list. Number 9 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches in professional wrestling history: Money Inc., which was Ted DiBiase and IRS against the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner, for the WWE Tag Team Championship at the SummerSlam Showdown in 1993 on the USA Network. This was a great cage match for the WWE Tag Team titles, and it was a tag team steel cage match, which was the only way to win if both members of the team go out of the cage, climb out of the cage, or go through the door. If one member of one team came out and another one came out, they would have to go back in. This was a very competitive steel cage match, one of very underrated steel cage match of all time. The Steiner brothers won that match and retained the WWE Tag Team Championship. It's one of the cage matches is kind of forgotten in professional wrestling history. I bet it's still in the WWE votes. And that's it on that one. Number 8 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches of all time: The Undertaker against Shawn Michaels, the first Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood 1997 in St. Louis, Missouri in October of 1997. This match was one of the greatest cage matches of all time. Shawn bled a lot. It was amazing, and it was also the debut of Kane, and when Kane came down, "That's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane," says Vince McMahon. It was also the last pay-per-view that Vince McMahon ever called in WWE history before becoming the evil Mr. McMahon character. I wish Vince could go back to do announcing, but that's another story for another day. That's selling the cell match comes in at number 8. Number 7 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches of all time in professional wrestling history: Hulk Hogan facing Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff at Saturday night's main event in January 1987 for the WWE title. It was amazing. It was probably the best steel cage match in the 80s at that time for the WWE. It was controversial. Hogan and Mr. Wonderful climbed out of the cage at the same time. One referee, Joey Marella, said Hogan won, and the evil heel referee, Danny Davis, says Paul Orndorff won the WWE title, and then they had to decide, and they had to go back and restart the cage match, and Hogan won it, and afterwards he like attacked Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Heenan took bumps and stuff like bumps. Heenan's one of the best bump takers of all time. This steel cage match was amazing, and it's on several WWE DVDs. Number 6 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches of all time: Stone Cold Steve Austin against Vince McMahon at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, 1999, for the right for Stone Cold to get the title shot against The Rock at WrestleMania 15. This was amazing. Vince took a lot of bumps. They wanted to stop the steel cage match, but Stone Cold wanted to. This was the debut of the Big Show coming out of the ring, and he threw Stone Cold into the cage, but inadvertently Stone Cold got out of the cage and won, and this was probably the height of the Vince McMahon Stone Cold feud. Great cage match, in my opinion. That comes in at number 6. Number 5 on the all-time list of the greatest cage matches of all time in professional wrestling history: Bob Backlund against Jimmy Superfly Snuka for the WWE title at Madison Square Garden in June 1982. This was amazing. This was a 3-match. This was the blow-up to the 3-match series at Madison Square Garden, which Snuka won the first match, and Backlund did a stretcher job. The second match, it was a double disqualification. In the third match, this was for all the marbles, and Snuka did the big splash 15-foot high off the top of the cage and onto Backlund, but Backlund got out and won the title. This was amazing. This started the Snuka face turn and stuff like that. Snuka should have won the WWE title at that house show, and the fans would have probably turned him face and stuff like that, and he could have had a long run as WWE champion, but, you know, those things happen. Comes in at number 5. Number 4 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches in professional wrestling history: Bret Hart, Hitman Hart against DeLocket Hart at SummerSlam 1994, the steel cage match to end the big feud. This was a very great steel cage match, a very competitive one. The first few minutes, Bret and Hogan were like going through trying to get through the jaw, jumping up, back and forth and stuff like that. Pretty amazing stuff. At the end, both Bret and Owen were trying to climb the cage simultaneously, but Owen got caught in the cage, and Bret jumped down and won and retained the WWE title. That steel cage match is on several DVDs of WWE, so check it out. Number 2 on the all-time list of greatest steel cage matches of all time: Magnum TA against Tully Blanchard for the U.S. title. For the U.S. title at Starrcade 85, the I Quit match. This is a legendary cage match. It's the match. The match is action-packed. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. It was one of the best Starrcade matches of all time. It was a way to end a very bitter feud, and everybody loved it when Tully Blanchard said, "I quit, I quit." Magnum won the U.S. title that night. Pretty amazing cage match on several DVDs of the WWE, so check it out. Number 2 on the all-time list of greatest cage matches of all time: Nature Boy for Ric Flair against Kerry Von Erich at Star Wars 1982 on December 25th, 1982. This cage match actually kind of started the Freebirds versus Von Erich feud. Kerry and Ric Flair had a competitive match, and one of the referees was Michael P.S. Hayes, and he was kind of favoring Kerry Von Erich. And when the first referee went down, Michael Hayes put Kerry Von Erich on Ric Flair, but Kerry did not want to win the NWA World title by cheating. And then once he got into an argument with Michael Hayes, and when Kerry was going to exit the steel cage door, Terry Bam Bam Gordy smashed Kerry Von Erich, and this started Von Erich's versus Freebird feud, the second best cage match of all time, because that cage match started the best feud in world-class championship wrestling history. It made the world-class championship wrestling, the Von Erich's Freebird feud. Amazing. And number 1 of the greatest steel cage matches of all time: The Undertaker against Mankind at Hell in a Cell in King of the Ring 1998. This match was famous for Mankind taking several amazing, crazy bumps. And with Jim Ross's commentary, oh my God! He says, would somebody stop the damage? Enough's enough. Please. They killed him. They killed him. They killed him. That was probably the greatest steel cage match of all time. And this is an amazing list. And I'll be back later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, with 2 more video blogs today. Week 15 NFL predictions, and a third and final video blog of the night, which will be about Santa Claus coming into town. More video blogs are coming in the days, weeks, months, years, decades, millenniums ahead, and definitely soon, very soon, Julie Broughton and Heidi Lee Pratt will definitely get a video blog because they're the 2 cutest ladies in the world with nice legs. See you later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Bye now.